morning, everyone. I decided to start making a donation, what we call We Care or baby quilt. They're 36 by 36 inch size. These are the fabrics that I've chosen. So I figure they will all blend together. This one will bring it together. I actually picked the other colors based on this one. These are all donated fabrics I took from a free table. And then the background is going to be a light blue. So I don't know if you've ever seen the swirling cat design. I will put some pictures in of one that I did that was like an I Spy themed quilt, and I sent it off to a relative's baby and it was well received. So now it's time. I've pared down the pattern so that it's larger pieces. It starts in the center with a 6-inch square, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the pieces first and I'm going to lay them out on my design board, and then I'll show you what to do next. I will be including the pattern within this video with cut piece sizes, so if you want to follow along, then you'll have a free pattern to use. Okay, I've decided I'm going to do the center economy block first, and basically this is for a 6-inch finished block. And what I've done, just because of how my mind works visually, I colored it in by color so I wouldn't get things messed up. So for the center 4 colors, it's basically just a 4 patch. So there's a green here, there's a purple here, there's a yellow here, and then there's a multicolor, which I'm also calling a blue. So those get sewn together like a normal 4 patch. And then what we do is we take our extra fabric, once these are stitched onto this backer template, and then we're actually going to do a stitch and flip. So in this case, let's pretend these are all sewn together. I need to take then, I like the green. So I would then line this up. I've got the stitching line right here, vertically, right there. So what I would do is line this up, giving myself a 1/4 of an inch, making sure I've got lots of overlap, stitch, and then this gets flipped. I've got this on the wrong side of the paper right now, just to show you how it works. When I actually go to sew this, I'm going to be sewing like freezer, or not freezer, like FPP on the other side of the paper. So let me just get the 4 patch sewn together and then I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I've got the purple and the yellow sewn together. I've got the green and the multicolored, also known as my blue, sewn together. So then what I need to do is press the seams to the side. So I'm going to do this way on this one, this way on that one, and that way they'll nest together. Next I'll be sewing here, and these are all 1/4 inch seams. Okay, I'm just showing you that I now have these sewn together, and because they're nested, they match up very well in the center. Because of bulk, I'm actually going to press these open, and I know there's some people that say you always have to go to one side, but I'm actually going to press these like this, and that will significantly reduce the amount of center bulk. When I go to quilt this in the end, I'll make sure that I have some sort of stitching in the center just to hold it in place. So once I've done that, I've got my template here for doing the final stitching. So what I'll be doing is I'll be matching like this. I don't know if you can see the lines through there, but it'll be, let's take a look. It'll be like this, and then I'll be putting each corner on, right sides together, 1/4 inch sleeve, and flipping over, and then I'll trim down the final block, and then that'll be ready to go. Okay, I have to admit that I did need to tear out some of these because I had them in the wrong order. So sometimes I kind of get ahead of myself and I need to sit back and rethink, regroup, and redo. Okay, so to position this, what I've done is I put a pin in the very center, and then I've matched it up on the other side in the center. And now I can pivot these around like this until I get them lined up the way they need to be. From there, I'll hold it up to a window, or I'll use my light box, and I'll make sure that these seams here are matching up on the seams on the other side. Then I will pin this on the wrong side over here so they don't move around. And then I'll start laying the other corners and do the stitch and flip one at a time. I thought this trick might help you, so let me know in the comments below if you need a separate video on how to do these economy blocks. Okay, I have the green larger to fill this, corner. So what I did is I sewed along this line. I did shorten my stitch length to 1.5. If I go on the back side, you'll see there's a bit of an overlap. I did spec that these sizes of fabric to be slightly larger, so make sure there's lots of extra there. So once this gets pressed over, that's what it'll look like. So I need to press this, then I'll go add the next color because it's actually going to overlap on here, and then on this edge it'll overlap here. So you need to be pressing these as you go. Okay, so here we are, our economy block all sewn. The next will be to trim it down. So as you can see, there's lots of extra fabric on the sides here. And when it gets trimmed down, the final seam will be the solid line where it's dotted. That's where we're going to be trimming it down. So I'm going to take this over to my cutting board and take care of that, and then I'll go up on the design board. But I really like how easy it is to do these. If anybody knows of another way, I'd love to hear about it. So those are the colors. Okay, just showing you, it's all trimmed down, 6.5 by 6.5. That's what it looks like. So before I put it up on the design wall, I will be removing all this paper. Remember to put your sewing machine back to whatever piecing length you like. I usually do it at just over 2.5. And this was sewn together at 1.5, so it'll make the paper being torn out quite easy. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, thought I'd quickly bring you over to the design board. So this is actually in our bedroom. So sorry if it's a bit dark in here. So this kind of gives you the idea of how we're going to be building it. These aren't placed in their final position. I'm just trying to get the colors so they're spinning in the right direction. With this, you need to make sure that you've got each. This is going to be a cat here, there, and there. So you want to have the front of the cat is going to be lined up here on this edge and the opposite on the other. And same with here and over here, and then the ears will end up be going down here, up there, here, and over here. So next up is going to be making a bunch of HSTs, and I've actually made a color chart so I can keep track of what colors I need to make. So I will go back to my sewing area and then start on the HSTs. Okay, I've double sewed all the HSTs, and I've given them a quick gentle press to set the seams. Now I'm going to trim down each side, and then I will press them open, and then I will start squaring them up to 3.5 inches. So once I'm done, I'll be back. Okay, I got all of the half square triangles finished. I put all the pieces on my design board, and I think I told you that it's actually on a wall in our bedroom. So I've laid out the pieces here. I do have some extra leftovers on the bottom, which can be used for another project. So what I'll do at this point is I will actually take each section at a time over to my sewing machine, bring them back, put them on the wall, and then do the final assembly. So I'll check in every now and then and just show you how the progress is going. I have one section of the cat here. I've got this storyboard, or it's just something I put together for carrying pieces around. It's a bit small for this, but I've layered it. I've decided to do one cat section at a time. So I'm just showing you what I do. So what I'll do is I'll bring the pieces over and I'll put them in the order what they'll look like once they're sewn together. So those are the two ears. You'll notice I've done them as a half square triangle. That's just for ease of sewing. I actually haven't mastered doing flying geese, and they're one of my least favorite blocks to do. So when I can, I still try to do them as a half square triangle. So you can adjust the pattern any way that works for you. Okay, so here we go. There's another half square triangle. So I'm sure you can see how this is all coming together. And because I'm doing this as a scrappy version, I do have different colors of background blue that I'm using. I did not have enough of one color to do the whole quilt. So I made a design decision because there's different colors within this one. I've got the lighter color by the ears and the tail, slightly darker here, and then there's a larger block that squares off the quilt in each section, and that's another darker blue. Once it's all quilted, I think most people really won't notice that change. So I'm going to go ahead, sew these together, join these together, put this with the half square triangles, then join those together, and then the rest will be added on, and then I'll have this all block done. So need to do this 4 times because we have 4 cats, and then the final assembly can begin. Just showing you that I got the cats quilted today. I did it in a free motion quilting pattern, which was kind of looks like footprints and also flowers. So I feel it fits in quite nicely. On the bottom, I used a bottom weight thread and on pre-wound bobbins, and on the top it was done in kind of a light yellow thread. I'm very happy with how it turned out. It went very quickly. If you want to see how to do the binding, you can certainly check out one of my videos on that as well. So I'll show you once this is all finished up.